What is going on, everyone? Welcome back. Welcome back. Hope you guys all had a fantastic session since I've last seen you guys. We are now back and ready for another good session here. All right. So what we're looking at right now is a nice move here made on USD CAD. Good morning, everyone. I appreciate you guys all tuning in. Let's get after it today. So we got a nice position here on USD CAD. Recap a little bit here for any of you guys who haven't tuned in over the last couple days or haven't just been, as tuned in. Nice move here caught on USD CAD originally with this breakout setup, right? Was looking originally for an opportunity up here, but after pulling back down and then back up here a little bit, hopped in that first position, made a nice move. We caught another one over here. Oh no, sorry, closed partials here, caught another entry here, closed full on that entry down here, and then let the rest of this runner go until down here, all right? After this move, going right past my take profit level and breaking through some support, I wanted to see a pullback where I'd then look for another sell. We see this pullback hitting some resistance right up here. I decide I want to hold off a little bit. It pulls back up, does this thing a little bit, ups and downs. Once we see it pull back all the way up here, that's when I'm ready for the next entry after that, I guess, break and retest kind of setup, even though it did pull back up a little bit higher. So it wasn't as much of a break and retest, more of just a normal entry off of this pullback. Caught a well-timed entry up here, does its thing. We enter another sell over here, which was another well-timed entry. Unfortunately, I think by like 1 pip, I don't remember exactly what my entry was off the top of my head, but just barely got taken out of this trade at my break-even stop loss, so just a little bit past my entry. So is what it is. Came back down to profit after that. We did enter another sell over here. Did look pretty good here, and then I did close out pretty close after hopping in that in full, like just past my entry again. Basically break even, maybe like a couple cents in profit. And the reason for that was because it looked like it could pull back up a little bit further from here. For a second there, it looked like it was ready to make this move right here and right then. But I did think it was going to pull back up a little bit afterwards, so I closed out. And, it was nighttime for me. I was going to go to bed, so I figured I'd probably rather wait for that pullback as opposed to possibly getting caught in it and not really being able to do much about it while I was asleep. So closed out, pulls back up a little bit like I expected. I would have been kept in based on where it pulled back to, but it wouldn't have been by much. If it would have pulled back up to like here and I was in my trade, could have been a loss. So don't feel bad about that closure, even though all of these entries would have technically gone well if I just let them run instead of going break even. But then again, you never know. It could have gone the complete opposite. So I like to play it safe in certain situations like this. Overall, though, main position's looking good. I haven't secured any partial profit. So we've been letting the original position run all the way down here. And it's made a beautiful move so far, chat. I have this marked up where I am looking for another pullback. It may or may not make that pullback before it comes down. It has made a nice move overall, and it's not far from that final target, so it could just make its way. But at the same time, if we did see a pullback further, I wouldn't be too surprised. So I wouldn't be looking for an entry here, and regardless of that, I still wouldn't be looking for the entry right here. It's a little close to that target, so a pullback would give me a better overall setup with more profit potential, better risk to reward, a better stop loss, overall just a better opportunity if we see it pull back first. So that is what I'm looking for another entry. But other than that, I'm still letting my current position run, and we'll see what happens with that. All right, chat, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm glad you're enjoying, and I'm glad you've learned some patience over here. Patience is very important. It's key, as I show you guys here on the stream every day. Goes a long way. Any new trade we can take a look at now? Good question. So right now I'm in this. It's risk-free, so I wouldn't be opposed to throwing down another position somewhere. Now, it would have to be a good entry at the right time, which, like I said here, would probably want to wait for a bit of a pullback or something like that if I wanted to find another sell from now. But I will take a look at a few other pairs. So feel free, let me know if you guys have any pairs in mind. I'm going to take a look at UJ to start because I was watching this one. Okay, so what I had most recently marked up here was this sell setup, I guess. Once we saw it break below support here, what I was looking for would have been a retest to then look for it to carry on down, right? No, like, amazing break and retest, I guess. I mean, it does break and it tests this resistance a couple times with some wicks, like over here, and pulls back up over here as well. So it does make its little pullback, nothing too substantial, but it is there. And it's carried on down since, all right? So, you know, this was another move overnight for me, so I told you guys last night that I wasn't going to be trading it, but looks good, it's doing its thing, and at the moment, I'd be looking at it carrying on down towards this level. Now, I wouldn't look for a sell here. It's not far enough away, I guess. The risk to reward wouldn't make sense, and I wouldn't have the best stop loss placement just yet. What I would want to see would be essentially the same thing I have marked up, right? We've seen this move coming down. We would now want a pullback up towards some resistance, whether that's like down here or higher, which would be cleaner. And then I'd look for the sell to come on down towards support lower. All right, that would be the idea. On the other hand, if it breaks back above resistance here, then I'd start to look for the buy, and that would look something like this, right? I've been keeping an eye on both these setups. It's made this initial move breaking out over here, which I was somewhat looking for. I mean, I wasn't looking to trade it necessarily, but I was keeping an eye on the sell after a break of support or a buy after a break of the trend line. It ends up breaking support and comes down, but then it comes back up and breaks the trend line. So at that point, sell is invalid, and I'm looking for a buy-ish. What I would need is that support to be respected on a retest to then see it come on up. And it kind of does that, and it's not the cleanest because, you know, it shows a little bit of a bounce off this support looking clean and starts to come up, but then does kind of fake out and come back down. So an inexperienced trader with this kind of approach would maybe have taken a loss there. And in certain situations, I could take a loss there too. Most of the time, in this case included, I was expecting a further pullback once again. Like, I wouldn't have hopped in this buy unless we saw it pull back and test the support again. Excuse me, again. So I didn't hop in the buy, and it looks pretty good that I didn't because it carried on down. Reason that I wouldn't have hopped in is probably a lot of experience just talking, not as much the strategy, because the strategy would be pretty much just looking for a break and retest, and it does that, right? And it kind of fakes out. The reason I wouldn't have hopped in is because even though it does look kind of clean on this pullback and it does start to make a move, I don't love the opening of this second green candle over here. It holds up okay after this pullback towards the support, but the way this opens and closes is not something I'd be looking to enter off of. This candle here, I mean, maybe if I was feeling really ambitious with it, it's possible because it doesn't look too bad, this green candle. And the way I say that is, you know, assuming we're watching this play out in the moment. If we only see up to this green candle, it's looking pretty good. But I think I'd still probably want to wait for that pullback. Wouldn't be the best opportunity here. It's just not significant enough. And yeah, I think this pullback here was pretty expected. And it made it pretty clean, right? And then it does break. So over here right now, made this move. Wasn't looking for the sell just because I was going to bed. And it would have wanted a bit more of a pullback. Either way, after coming down a little bit further, we want a pullback up higher to then look for another sell. Or if it breaks resistance, I can look for a buy with some sort of break and retest that looks clean, all right? That is the plan here for UJ. I liked this setup, I think. Okay, so what I marked up here on GBP AUD, I think this was on stream. It might have been on the live call in the community over the weekend. But I think it was on stream. I think I might have brought this up. So what we have here is a nice breakout setup on GBP AUD, right? Starts trending up a little bit here. I mark up this trend line, and then we end up seeing it break out. A little bit of a break and retest too. Clean-ish. You know, I probably still wouldn't hop in off here. I think I've developed a bit more patience and would have waited for a little bit later of an opportunity like this if I was watching this intently throughout this playing out. And that's also if I wanted. It is a bit of a bigger setup here, so maybe I would have looked for something a bit smaller. But either way, when I opened this chart, I think things were right around here. And what I wanted to see was a more significant pullback before an entry. So what that would have looked like is exactly what I have marked up. I would have wanted something more like this, where it pulls back up, hits some resistance, and then I could look for the sell. What we end up seeing is it pulls down further and then starts to pull back, which is totally fine, right? Doesn't take away anything from the setup. It just wouldn't have given me an entry opportunity up higher. Now, I mean, sure, there are opportunities throughout this, and if I'm like really just watching this chart and it's the only thing I have, and it's a nice setup and I'm ready for an entry, sure, there are times where it would look clean for an entry throughout this, but in the situation that I'm in, where I'm kind of just popping in and popping out in some other trades, but I'm checking up on it to see how it's looking, then this is more so what I was wanting. And now that we see it pull back lower and now it's coming back up, it's looking pretty clean. Now we just need to see it hit some resistance, where I could then look for a sell. All right, so that could happen up here. It could pull back further and happen up higher like this. We don't know. We have to be patient and wait and see. But if we see this pull back to resistance and a clean rejection, I can look for a sell to come on down towards, I would say, down here would be my final target if I'm trading this bigger setup. If I wanted to take it to the lower time frames and I preferred that, I could. But honestly, this isn't too crazy. So yeah, this could be a final target. I could also target some support a bit higher. So either way, this is the setup for now on GBP AUD. In terms of a buy, I wouldn't really be looking for the buy personally right now. Even if it does make a move coming on up, I'm sure it could set up in a way that I would expect a move coming up at some point if it starts looking that way. But I still wouldn't be trading the buy within a setup like this, personally. Chat, if you guys have any questions or anything, let me know. I'm going to pop open USD CAD once again. I want to keep an eye on it for a little bit here. Good moves here overall, though. It even dates back a little bit further. I have been liking USD CAD throughout all this while I've been trading it, but I was even looking at it a little bit earlier, right? I guess I don't remember if I moved this over here or if I was looking for this over here, but whatever. What I mostly remember here was initially marking up this buy setup where I was looking for the breakout. It does come up. I think I was trading like NZD JPY a couple weeks ago at the time, but makes a bit of a move, then pulls back and then makes the bigger move. And then I was looking for the sell after this breakout, which I caught, and then came down towards my final target down here. It did pull back, and then we hopped in the next one. So far so good here on USD CAD. Been liking it. And yeah, nice opportunity here. And if it comes down, great. If not, we should have some other opportunities. All right. Depending on a pullback, we could look for another sell. And, if it were to really break on up, whether I'm in this trade or it's afterwards or whenever, that could lead to a possible buy. I can see a buy setup, not really ready yet, but like we see a trend coming on down. And I think we're not quite ready for something like this yet, but if it does start to give us a reversal setup there, I can look for that afterwards. Good question. And yes, about trailing stop loss. Wait, trail our target in USD CAD. Are you talking about like trailing my stop and profit? If that's what you're talking about, that is what I'm going to be doing. I was intending on doing that this morning, and we are here. I haven't thought about it yet this morning. I was thinking about doing it yesterday. So yeah, it's looking great with the way things are looking. I definitely would want to trail it. And then I'll check out a few other pairs. I'll check out a few other pairs, then I'll come back and I'll probably trail my stop loss, all right? AUD, USD. Yep, let's check it out. Okay, so here I was looking for, if it broke below support, I could look for a sell. And the other hand, if it didn't and just pulled back here, would expect it to come up. I said that I wasn't going to trade this and I wasn't really interested in it. It's making a decent move, but, like I said, I wasn't really interested in it. Maybe if I had found this a little bit earlier, like down in this area, I would have, but over here I wasn't too interested, so stayed out. I think we were also in these other trades, so that's the deal. Right now, it's pulling on up. It looks good doing so. We have some resistance approaching, so it could make its way up towards that, or it could pull back sooner than that. We'd have to wait and see. But right now it's looking clean on this move upwards. In terms of a sell, I'd be a little bit patient. I think we could see it continue on up towards resistance first, which I wouldn't be looking to trade for that buy personally. If it broke resistance, I can maybe look for a buy. Other than that, I think I'd be a little bit patient with this pair, wait for it to possibly come up, and maybe start setting up for a sell. All right, that's my opinion here on AUD USD. Now I'll check out Euro USD. So we'll see. Okay, so Euro USD, zooming out to the 4 hour here. I thought I had some more recent things marked up, but maybe not. Maybe I just told you guys what I was expecting. So what we have here, it's pushing on up, obviously. I think in this area, I said I could maybe expect a move coming on down, but obviously I wasn't interested in trading it. We saw it push up towards this resistance and reject initially before it fell. I wouldn't have looked for a sell up here, but it did reject here and come down at one point here. And then it pulled back on up, and now it's breaking above this level. With that break above, I think I'd be looking for some buys. I'm going to clean up my chart a little bit. There's just a lot going on here, and most of it's not too relevant right now. I'm just going to clean up the whole chart here. Okay. I'm going to mark up a trend line coming on down. I don't know how it's going to be looking, but let's see. Right, I can initially mark up one here. Just to show you guys, we see some rejections, a breakout, and it's pulled back, but remained above this trend line the whole time. And from there, I mean, it's played out coming on up, which is, I guess, valid for how these types of setups would play out. But this is a bigger, higher time frame setup. I wouldn't be looking to trade that, or wouldn't have been looking to trade it. If I pull it out a little bit more, it's still clean. We still have some rejections on this trend line. And then once we see that breakout, it does pull back and still remain valid above this trend line. It's pushed on up. Buys are looking pretty clean for me, in my opinion. I'm going to bring it down to the hour time frame now. What I'm seeing here right now is we have some resistance right up in this area, right? It's more of a zone, right? Like this area, but I'm going to mark it up with just a line up here, a little bit on the higher end of that zone. And we are still seeing it break out of that level, all right? If we can see it move on up a bit more, maybe give us a clean break and retest. The idea for what I'd be looking for would be just the break and retest buy coming up, right? Little bit of a bigger setup, not crazy, but it's a little bit bigger, and I do think it would take some time coming on up. So I probably wouldn't look to catch that in one move. Not that it would be problematic, right? It's really not much different than taking a trade to a shorter target. I'm just letting it run for longer. But I think I would still target a lower level of resistance, like probably up in this area first. So this is what I'd really be looking for to start off. We want, yeah, I think that'd be pretty good. If we can get a break and retest above some resistance here, I'd be looking to try and catch a buy targeting resistance up here. That would be my main setup right now. Also, if it were to close below this resistance or close above and then break back below, I can maybe look for a sell. And that would look something like this. But even after seeing something like this, I would maybe still be a bit more patient before looking for a sell. Maybe after seeing something like this, I wait for a sell after like another pullback, right? So this would be a decent buy opportunity. And for the sell, I think this would be not bad as well. So that's what I'm looking for here. We'll check back up on this in the next bit. And I'm not trying to predict which one's going to happen, chat. Remember that. Not trying to predict what's going to happen. I'm trying to react to what happens, right? Whatever way it breaks, whether it breaks up or breaks back below, doesn't really make a difference to me. I am then going to wait for a retest. And if that holds up, I have my answer of which way I'm going to be looking to trade. All right. If you guys have any more questions, let me know. Heading back over to USD CAD for a bit. It's pulling back a little bit, which could lead to something. So I want to keep my eyes on it a bit. was wondering why my lighting wasn't looking good here, but I was blocking it. It's a little bit better now. Okay. USD CAD here, looking good, chat. We're seeing it pull back a bit. That could lead to another sell, depending on how that plays out. If it's a little bit of a deeper pullback, like up towards this area once again, I think that would be pretty clean for a sell if it holds up and, you know, respects that setup. So we'll keep our eyes on it for sure. No other setups that I'm urgently looking to trade. We see some opportunities that are going to present themselves this week, I think. But nothing urgent. We're liking this trade. I'm cool letting it run. I'm not rushing into anything else anywhere. So I'll let this run for now. We'll see if we can catch another entry. All right. Oh yeah, I was going to trail my stop loss. I think I still will do that. All right, chat. Let me see. I'm going to definitely trail it above this level of, I guess, kind of resistance here. I mean, I can adjust it, obviously. I think I'm going to start with trailing it pretty much exactly where my stop loss was for this trade. I remember where it was because I was looking for the trade and I was moving my mouse around here trying to just see where I liked it. And then I was at like 397, like 91. I was like, why not just make it 39800 flat, just make it clean. And I think I'm going to do that again. So I'm going to put my stop loss down towards this level over here into some profit, chat. All right. So currently it's at 1.40024, just about a pip in profit from my entry. And I'm currently going to move it to 39800. Oh, I don't know why I just wrote break even again. 39800. Beautiful chat, beautiful. Now it's starting to pull back, so depending on how this goes, we could look for our next opportunity. And worst case, if it pulls back and takes me out, we will be securing some profit, which, not bad. Not bad at all. Won't be a huge profit. This isn't the biggest trade, but that's totally fine, you know. I'm just happy with the way this one played out. We played it well. We didn't jump in too heavy with this one. And it's solid, you know, solid profit. But I'm just happy catching some clean opportunities here, doing what we're supposed to be doing, you know. That is the priority. What's going on, beginner trader? Welcome. Can I sell again? You can. I'm holding off for now. Profit target's right down here, so it's a little close. Plus, it's looking like it's holding up here at the moment and could pull back a bit, which would give me a better entry with more possible profit. So I think the best option here is to be a little bit patient, wait on it a bit. And yeah, I know sometimes entering a trade feels like, the best option. You want to make some profit. But a lot of what a very important thing that a lot of traders don't realize is that not entering a trade can actually be the more profitable thing to do, right? If this does pull back, me deciding to wait on entering a trade will not only make me more profit if I catch a better entry, but it will help me lose less because I won't be going into drawdown, So patience is key. It definitely works out if we can wait for a better entry here. So we'll go from there. Chat, if you guys are enjoying the stream so far, I would appreciate it if you smash the like button. Let's see if we can hit like 30 likes here, chat. That would be absolutely fantastic. I do appreciate it. Lets me know you guys are enjoying, which I love the feedback. Let's see, what time is it? 8:38. So we got closure coming on the 4 hour and the 1 hour. In the next little while, 4 hours looking decent. I mean, making a nice move. We'll have to wait and see how it closes. There's still like 20 plus minutes, so a lot can change in that few minutes. But whatever, we'll see what happens. If it pulls back up higher, it could look like it might pull back up on us, which is what we're waiting for anyways. And if it comes down, great, it could head more into profit. So no complaints either way. And our trailing stop is, I guess, I don't know, the trade's not huge, so the profit's not going to be unbelievable regardless. It'll be nice given the risk reward on the trade, but we're not going to be like making tens of % of profit in this one trade, which shouldn't really be the goal anyways. But yeah, trailing stop loss will still give us a decent profit given the size of the trade here. And we're still quite far away from that level. So a lot of room, so lots of good could happen here. Just got to be patient with the chat. I appreciate it. I've been looking at Euro JPY right now with very heavy support. Do you think a buy would be smart there? To be honest, I've been staying away from the JPYs the last couple days. I stayed away from it last week because the week before was a little bit choppy for me and it just didn't work out too well. It pulled back when it was looking good for a setup and it was getting faked out. Then I took a Euro JPY trade, I guess earlier this week, I think Monday, maybe Sunday. Few entries there, smaller positions. Like I didn't go crazy on it, stacking like full lot size like positions for what I'm aiming for. Meaning like if my go-to lot size right now is like 0.005. I kept it smaller on the Euro JPY. Looked good for the sell, nice clean breakout, but of course it pulled back up on me then, and wasn't ready to go. So I mean, it has been moving up. I don't even really want to check up on it, to be honest. But yeah, I've been seeing the JPYs pulling back up. So I guess if it's setting up nicely for a buy and it's holding up support, it could be a decent opportunity. But there's not much there that I'm interested in. Same with a lot of the other JPYs. I don't mind UJ right now. And maybe it was CAD JPY or AUD JPY that I was liking. AUD JPY here I marked up yesterday, I believe, and it hasn't really done much since then. I marked up possible buys or sells, meaning, if we see the breakout coming up, we could see a buy, and if we see the breakout coming down, it could lead to a sell. hasn't really given us too much progress on this. I guess it's broken up a little bit, but not like a strong breakout that I'd be looking to enter a buy off of personally. So I still would want this for a buy here, a break up higher, pull back, then look for the buy. Or if it breaks support like soon, or breaks support after even making a move coming up, then I could look for the sell coming down. I already broke down Euro USD. I'll take another quick look. All right. Let me just take a quick UJ look as well. So UJ is pulling back up right now. If this gives us a nice pullback up a little bit higher and holds up at some resistance, it could lead to a sell. At the same time, if it breaks above resistance, it could lead to a buy. All right. Euro USD. Right now on Euro USD, what I'm looking for is, I don't think I'm going to trade it, but this is what I'm looking to see happen here. This is my breakdown. If it breaks above clean, a bit bigger of a breakout, and then pulls back and holds up at support here, we could see it bounce and come on up further. This would be my lower final target, and on the bigger scale of the setup, I could then also target up higher, like up here. But if I were looking for a trade, assuming we have the confirmation, I'd target here, and then if it broke out and hit that final target, I could then target up higher if it gives me a new entry. All right. If it breaks below support here at any time, whether it's, sooner than later, or even makes a bit of a move coming up and then breaks below, that could lead to a sell, either on a break and retest like this or a lower pullback as well. That's my take here. All right. I hope that doesn't wipe my chart clean here. Clutch, it didn't. Sometimes when I have to refresh the chart like that, it deletes everything I have marked up, which is a pain. You're already in a buy on AUD JPY. Your logic is from resistance level. It is rejecting all the selling candle about to give breakout. That's a good analysis, and I am seeing that too. I do think it looks good to come on up right now. I definitely would be looking at a buy over the sell right now, given that we have this breakout, and it is holding up pretty strong. We can see it's coming down. It's testing these the support. It's looking like it might want to break, and then it just doesn't, right? It's struggling to break through that support. It's holding up very nice, and it's starting to move up a little bit. So it is an opportunity here. I personally would just wait a little bit because I haven't been loving the JPYs too much recently. And yes, even though they have been moving up, so this would be more trading with the trend than I was before, I still wouldn't mind waiting a little bit longer personally. But that is nothing, against your entry. That's a solid entry opportunity right here. For me, I would probably just rather play it a little bit safer, for better or for worse, by being a bit extra patient. But good breakdown here and good setup. Okay, 1 hour. It's closing in 15. The last 15-minute candle, I think, was a bit of a mover. Yeah, so it started to pull back up a little bit, and then, I've been checking out some other pairs. Hadn't even noticed. The last 15 did start to flip and come back down, which is great. I didn't miss an entry opportunity over here. I told you guys if I want a sell, I need a further pullback. It's just not worth it with the size of it. It's just too close to my final target here, so if it were to pull back higher to some resistance up here in this area, I could look for another sell, and I probably will. But we don't know if we're going to see that. It could just carry on down, which, no complaints with that. Your TP is 103,400, stop loss 102,300. Good stuff. Let me see. I'll take a look how that's looking. $103,400 be up in this area. Okay, that's a solid target. Is that a previous key level? What has you targeting that level up there? Just wondering. I don't know. Maybe there's more to the left. I can't scroll too far right here. And then stop loss 102,300. Good stuff. I mean, that's a tight stop loss, so that's pretty safe here, and it looks pretty good bouncing up right now. So assuming this were to play out good and just carry on up, that's awesome. Good stuff. Check USD CHF. It's on support level and reacting from support. Got you. Got you. Okay. I haven't checked this pair out in a little bit. I do have some levels marked up. I don't remember when I would have marked them up, maybe all the way back here. What I had over here was a possible buy setup, I guess. I marked up something like that. Made a bit of a move. Since then, it's kind of come back down, up, you know. Making some decent ups and downs, some sizable positions here, I guess, that could have been caught. And right now it's pulling down and I guess hitting some support. We do have some support down in this level. I wouldn't look for a buy right off rip if it does hold up here. I'm just going to move this level up here for now. If it holds up here, I'm not looking for a buy, but what I could do for the buy, and by the way, I'm not going to hop in this most likely, so I guess this is hypothetical, but what I would be looking for a buy, shoot, I need to scroll over, okay. Would be something like this. So it's obviously come down, tested this level. We'd want to see it bounce off, obviously. And, you know, it could do this a couple times. It might come down and test this level 2-3 more times. We don't know yet, but regardless, once it's held up at this support and starts to bounce up, I'd probably look for an entry off of, you know, a higher low being formed here. So something like this. All right, so I don't know if it'll play out this way. It could break below, in which case I would expect it to come down. I don't think I would trade it, but I would expect it to come down, and I'd be looking for it to approach support, like down in this area. But if it doesn't want to break, this would be something I'm looking for. You know, it could reject a couple times. It could reject once. This could be the last rejection. Either way, I'd want to see it start to come up, come back down, and make a higher low there, and maybe I could see a move coming on up. Or, like I said, possible sell coming down below. Either way, I'm not going to be trading it. It's not my, you know, go-to best kind of setup. And yeah, I also don't trade the pair too much, so not a lot of personal interest in it, but not bad. Chat, if you guys are enjoying the stream so far, I'd appreciate it if you smash that like button. Let's see if we can hit like 30 likes, chat. I really appreciate the support here on the stream. Let's see if we can hit that target. 30 likes, chat. Let's see if we can run it up. Chat, I'll be right back. I'll see you guys in just a minute. For now, obviously letting this run and play out the way it is, and I'll check back with you guys in just a minute. All right, chat, I am back. We're looking good right now. We just got that 4-hour closure. Actually, let's take a look and see how that closed. Yeah, solid closure here. But it doesn't give me too much of an indication of what we could see here, all right? So patience is still going to be key and a priority, as always. What this is telling me is, it could create a top wick and maybe come back down and, play out this move even further, which would be great. But we also could maybe see a bottom wick and then a pullback. It could start to pull back up towards some resistance up here, which is what I'd be looking for another trade. We really don't know. We have to be patient and see, and that's a big thing in trading is just, knowing what you're waiting for and waiting for it, right? We're not trying to predict what's going to happen here. We're trying to wait for some confirmation and go from there. Remember, nothing's going to be 100%. It's just probabilities, right? The more you do it too, the more, I guess, perspective you have on that. But yeah, right? So we're trying to wait and see what happens here. If it does pull back, then I think, assuming it holds up nicely at resistance, there's a high probability it does come back down for the rest of this move, giving me a nice entry. Now, obviously, if it does just carry on up very strong without really presenting any sell opportunity, that could eventually shape up into a buy, but it would have to move up quite a bit, at least right now. If it does carry on down or move sideways, in the next couple days, it could lead to a buy setup, but for now, we're still looking good on the sells, and we have to wait if we're going to see a pullback for another entry, or if it's going to come on down for a nice move to finish out this setup. But right now, it's pulling on back, so maybe we do get another trade here, chat. Maybe we do, and I am all for it if it's going to set up that way. But we have to be patient. We did just get the 4-hour, which we wanted to wait for sure. Obviously, it wasn't really looking ready for an entry anyways, so we needed the 4-hour closure. And now we can start to see this develop into a sell setup for me. Possibly. We don't know for sure, but it definitely could. This is what I'd be looking for. A pullback, look for an entry, sell, come on down. That'd be the idea and the ideal move here. So, yeah, I'm going to pull this out a little bit further. Ideally, we see it pull back decent amount, like all the way up towards like here in this area. I think that would be a pretty good sell opportunity, like around where I caught my other two. But we'll see. I'm not trying to predict it. Like I said, we're trying to react to what we end up seeing happen. So that requires some patience. We just got to wait on it. And that's it. Chat, if you guys have any questions or anything, let me know. Euro USD is going down. Okay, I'll take a look at that and just see what's going on. On pullback, when I take trade, when candle go opposite direction or candle came reverse, same direction. Let me read that again to see if I can make sense of what your question is. Okay, so when I'd be looking for the entry off of this pullback, It would be on the candle coming back down. I'm not trying to catch this on the way up. We're trying to catch it after it's come on up, hit that resistance, you know, clearly rejected, and starting to flip and come it back down. All right. And the same would go for another kind of breakout. Any other kind of breakout that I'm looking for, or pullback, or whatever it may be. We want to wait for the closure, pulling back, and then we want to look for the entry after that's already pulled back and try and catch the reversal. USD is getting stronger. Don't know what's the matter. My stop loss has been taken out. Stop loss on what, beginner trader? USD CAD? Or AUD JPY, is that what you're talking about? Or didn't you say you were in a position there? I'm going to check out the JPYs and see. Oh, actually, I said I was going to check out Euro USD. Let me quickly take a look at that. Yes, so Euro USD, what I marked up here is possible buy if we see a break, not right away, but break and retest buy setup if this level's broken. Possible sell setup if this doesn't break. So far it hasn't broken. If it does start to come down, maybe give us a nice clean retest, then I could look for a sell. All right. AUD JPY, yes, breaking back down below support. Breaking back down below support. I guess, yeah, I think this is the pair where I said I probably would want to wait for that extra confirmation, I said, on that extra pullback. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I think this was the pair where I said, you know, it's a clean setup. We do have a break above this level, but I would want to wait. I don't think that was this pair. Maybe it was. Was that GBP AUD? I definitely said I want to pull back before I can look for a sell. And that's currently happening. It's looking clean up here. Still going to wait for this pullback. Got to hit some resistance and start to flip, but we have a nice setup here overall. UJ starting to come back down a little bit. AUD JPY, yeah. What is exactly the point of entry after the pullback? Good question. Whoa, big move here. By the way, chat, before I answer your question, sorry. Like I have marked up here, I have both a buy setup and a sell setup marked up, and I was, as I said, waiting for whichever one will give me confirmation to clean valid opportunity. So was above this level, which means the sells wouldn't be valid up above resistance here, but that is now breaking. So this could end up leading to a sell, which would look something like this. We want a clean break, then we want to pull back, and then we want to wait for that sell. All right. Reason why I wait for the pullback after the entry is because it helps me avoid getting faked out, right? So if I were to sell right here, for example, or I guess, yeah, this is a decent enough example. If I sold right here before it pulled back, you know, I guess it's hard to explain, but part of it's because of experience with my trading, right? After gaining tons of experience, a lot of the time trading is full of ups and downs, right? Pullbacks, continuations, all sorts of stuff like that. So it's not just going to move straight in one direction. At one point or another, it's going to pull back, right? I want to see that pullback and test resistance before I look for a sell, because when we see it pull back and test that resistance and not break above, we're seeing that it's struggling to break through. The buyers are struggling to take control and break through. And, you know, that's good confirmation for the sell, right? Obviously. And the same goes vice versa. Yeah, here, I mean, it breaks above and then it pulls back, breaks above, pulls back. You know, there's a lot of breaks and pullbacks all over the place all the time. Things rarely continue moving in one direction alone for a long period of time. So I try and wait for those break and retests. And I also, I use that to not only protect my entries and keep my account safe, but I use that to find better entries as well. I hope that was a decent explanation. It can be a little confusing with the explanation, but it's a simple concept, really. Yeah. Okay, USD CAD still pulling back, which is good. We want to see a bit of a pullback right now. What time is it? 9:11. So early into the 4-hour candle and this current 1 hour. So it's pulling back up a little bit, but it's also, it's seemingly like struggling to really break on up a little bit here. It's coming up and now it's starting to pull back again. Still lots of time here, obviously, so things will change a little bit from where they're at, I'm sure. But, we may not see it pull back up higher. And if it doesn't, that's okay. I don't need to force another entry. It has to be sensible with the risk to reward. Otherwise, it's just not really worth it, in my opinion. So if we can get that bigger pullback, that'd be great. That should set up for a clean additional entry. If not, sure, it could set up for another entry opportunity, but not one that I would be interested in due to the risk reward just not really being there. But it's looking great overall. Yeah, I notify you guys in the Telegram. I let you guys know, if I hop in a trade or if I manage it or something. All right. I'm just going to flip through the time frames a little bit, see how things are looking. We're going to get a 15-minute candle closure in a minute here. So we'll want to wait and see what happens with that, chat. Let's wait for this 15-minute candle closure. I assume it'll look something like this. Maybe it pulls up a bit higher or a bit down, but it's going to look something like this. We'll have to go from there, right? Totally, it is looking really good right now. Clean setup here, chat. Nice entry up here. Nice clean move all the way down. I was expecting a pullback a bit deeper at some point, but, sometimes it'll just make that clean move. No complaints, really. Here as well, it did make the odd pullback. I did enter on this pullback over here, but it wasn't very significant. Yeah, we got this clean breakout here. We'll have to wait and see what happens when it comes to closure, but we're seeing some breakouts. I like this pair. Still pulling back up here. This could be my next opportunity as well, chat, depending on what goes on with it over the next few hours and how it looks, as well as what's going on with my current trade as well. Well, actually, that doesn't really play much of a role because that one's it's just risk-free trailing stop. We're looking pretty good over there. I would like another USD CAD position here. We'll see. But yeah, if we can find a better setup somewhere else, I'll also look for that. Okay, pulling back up a little bit. We did get that 15 closure. So far, the additional entry is definitely possible here, chat. Not here this minute, but coming up. Chad, I'm going to be patient with this for a little bit, and I'll be back with you guys very soon. But I'm going to let this run, obviously, for now. I'll be back in probably like 10, 15 minutes, all right? For now, let's just be patient with this. See if we can catch another entry opportunity here.